She was a queen in a foreign land, yet her crown could not protect her people. A death decree hung over every Jew. One woman stood between despair and deliverance. Her name was Esther. With prayer on her lips and wisdom in her heart, she risked her life before the king's throne. One word could save a nation or seal her doom. This is the story of Queen Esther, how she saved the Jews with her prayers and wisdom. And listen, don't just hear this story, live it. Hit subscribe to join the family here on Godslife Vibes. Tap like if you believe prayer still changes history. Share this video right now, because someone you know needs to be reminded, God raises up heroes for such a time as this. The air was heavy with fear as Esther walked toward the throne room. She knew the law: to approach the king without being called could mean death. Yet her people were in danger. Haman, the king's most trusted official, had tricked him into signing a decree. On one appointed day, every Jew in the kingdom would be destroyed. For 3 days Esther had neither eaten nor drunk, fasting with her people, praying for courage. Now her feet carried her forward. The guards' hands tightened on their swords as she entered uninvited. The king's eyes narrowed. Silence filled the court. Would he have her killed? Or would he show mercy? Then his hand moved. Slowly, the golden scepter stretched toward her. Esther's breath caught. Her life had been spared. The king's voice thundered, "What is it, Queen Esther? Even up to half the kingdom, it shall be yours." Esther did not reveal her request at once. Wisdom told her the time was not yet. Instead, she smiled softly. "If it pleases the king, come to a banquet I have prepared for you, and bring Haman." Haman's chest swelled with pride. A private banquet with the king and queen? He strutted through the streets, but his joy soured when he saw Mordecai, Esther's uncle, who refused to bow to him. Haman's pride twisted into rage, and he built a tall gallows, planning to hang Mordecai. But that very night, the king could not sleep. To pass the hours, he asked for the royal records to be read. His eyes fell on a story he had long forgotten, how Mordecai once uncovered a plot to assassinate him. "What honor was given to this man?" the king asked. "None," the servants replied. The king's mind stirred with plans, while Haman sharpened his hatred. By morning, two destinies were about to collide. At Esther's second banquet, the king once more asked her, "What is your request?" "Even up to half my kingdom, it shall be granted." Esther's voice shook, but her courage held. "My king, if I have found favor, spare my life and the lives of my people. For we have been sold for destruction and death." The king's face darkened. Who dares to do such a thing? Esther's eyes turned toward Haman. "This wicked Haman is our enemy." Haman fell to his knees, begging for mercy, but it was too late. That very day, he was hanged on the gallows he had built for Mordecai. Soon after, a new decree was written by the king, allowing the Jews to defend themselves. When the day of destruction came, their enemies fell instead. Mourning turned to dancing, and despair turned to victory. Esther's courage and prayers had saved her people. She had stepped into danger, but God had placed her as queen for such a time as this. Life lessons from Esther's story. True courage is born in prayer. God places people in specific moments for his purpose. Pride leads to downfall, but humility and wisdom bring victory. Deliverance often comes through unexpected people willing to risk everything. Through prayer, wisdom, and courage, Esther turned fear into freedom. A queen who could have stayed silent chose instead to speak, and God used her to save a nation. Her story reminds us, you are never too small, too afraid, or too unworthy for God to use. Like Esther, you may be called for such a time as this. But don't let this story end here. Hit subscribe and become part of the Godslife Vibes family, where faith comes alive. Tap like if you believe prayer still moves mountains. Share this story now, because someone you know needs the courage of Queen Esther today. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.